the heart of self-sufficiency lie not only practical considerations, but fundamental questions about one's life and one's relationship to the world. They often begin quite simply. What do I truly need? What is a genuine necessity, and where does excess begin? From this follows the question of independence and dependence. How self-reliant do I want to be, and which forms of dependence am I willing to consciously accept? Closely connected to this is the question of responsibility. What do I take responsibility for myself, and what do I entrust to other people, systems, or structures? These reflections lead further into a deeper consideration of one's relationship with nature. Do I see myself as someone who uses resources, or as part of a larger cycle in which giving and taking are intertwined? Self-sufficiency also requires a different relationship with time. Am I willing to slow down and cultivate patience? Can I allow processes that cannot be accelerated without losing something essential? From this arises the question of control and trust. How much do I want to direct, and where am I willing to let things unfold? At the same time, self-sufficiency inevitably raises the question of community. Where do my own capacities end, and where does the need or desire for exchange and cooperation with others begin? Ultimately, all these questions converge into a deeper search for meaning. Why do I strive for self-sufficiency? Is it about security, freedom, ethical conviction, or a deeper understanding of myself? Thus, the many individual questions lead to a single central one. How do I want to live, and in what relationship to the world? These questions cannot be answered once and for all. They are meant to be lived. It is less about finding the right answer and more about facing them honestly, again and again. Still, there are ways to approach them. It begins with observing your own life. Instead of thinking in abstract terms, it helps to look closely at what is actually there. What do I use every day? What is truly necessary? Where do I act out of habit, and where out of real need? Honesty is essential here, without judgment, more like a quiet record of one's daily life. Then comes experience rather than theory. Self-sufficiency is not understood in the mind, but through action. Growing something yourself, repairing something, or consciously going without something changes your perspective. Questions like, what do I really need, are no longer just thoughts. They become something you feel. Another path is reduction. By simplifying, consuming less, choosing less, replacing less, you create space to see your priorities more clearly. Not as a form of restriction, but as an experiment. What happens if I have less? It is also important to engage with your limits. You will likely realize that complete self-sufficiency is hardly possible, and that realization itself is meaningful. Where do I depend on others, and how does that feel? Dependence is no longer a weakness, but a conscious part of life. Equally important is conversation with others. Exchange opens perspectives you cannot see on your own. Self-sufficiency does not mean doing everything alone, but consciously choosing where to connect. Finally, it requires time and repetition. Your answers will change. What feels necessary today may seem unnecessary tomorrow. The questions remain, but you become clearer in how you live with them. Perhaps the most important thing is this: you do not answer these questions by finishing them. You answer them by beginning to live differently.